Welcome to Bloomers in the Garden. I'm Len Schroeder.
And I'm Julio Zamora.
And on today's show, we're going to talk about early blooming perennials that are just peeking out of the ground now, but are going to be available at most garden centers right now. Things like English daisies, rock cress, and of course, hellebores. Hellebores are also known as Lenten rose. There's a great variety that's called a Frost Kiss series.
Wow. Len, it's time to start digging in the dirt.
All right.
Yes, we're going to discuss soil amendments to dig into your garden soil and why.
You know, we're also going to talk about mulch choices for your landscape beds.
During our last two segments, we're going to answer questions from listeners. Gavin called, and he's having problems with early weeds.
And then we have another caller who is anxious to get planting vegetables.
Oh, yes. So stay tuned and join us back in the garden after this short break.
Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call us on the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. And if we use your question on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. 1880, and we'll see you in the garden.
Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
Spring has sprung, and it's time to visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bring us a soil sample, and we'll test your soil's pH-free. Heck, bring us a water sample from your pond, too, and we'll test that for ammonia and other critical levels. Did you know that Bloomers has a pond department? We have all of the water treatments, fish, and plants to keep your pond looking glorious year-round. Are you looking for that 4-step lawn program? Bloomers carries Scott's, Jonathan Green, Bonide, and Espoma's Organic Step program. Need to seed? Bloomers has its own blend of seed called Township Turf. It's just the right balance of rye, fescue, and bluegrass to give you a spectacular lawn. It's also perfect for repairing bare spots and matches extraordinarily well to sodded lawns. Don't forget the garden. Bloomers carries bumper crop soil amendment and all the fertilizers a garden could need, both organic and inorganic. The best vegetables start as seedlings from Bloomers. Come visit those who know the friendly folks at Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is located in Washington Township in Gloucester County, New Jersey, just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. For directions and information, visit www.bloomers.com. That's www.bloomers.com. And we'll see you in the garden.
Well, Ed, spring is here. Yes.
It is.
Perennials are starting to arrive at our store. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been so bare outside, and now that perennials are starting to come in and nursery stock's rolling in, it's great. It's a great time of the year.
Yeah, life is back, huh?
That's right. And, all the time with perennials, sometimes you don't have early flowers.
Yeah.
One of the earliest is the Lenten rose,
Yes.
which is also hellebore, and that's it's that botanical question. Don't get hung up on botanical names out there. Okay, you don't need to know the name.
Yeah.
You can describe it. That thing that comes up early and it's like an Easter thing. It's got Lent, Lenten rose. That's it.
There you go. Yeah.
Then that herbivore plant. I mean, hellebore plant.
Yes, that's the one.
Look, when you come to the garden center, we anticipate that, and we can translate your language into plant language and understand what you need.
Right.
So
we'll get it right. That's
right. So, Julio, what are some of those plants that are looking good right now?
Oh, let me tell you what, Len. I just bought hellebores the other day.
Yeah?
Oh, my goodness. I put it in my pot. It looks wonderful.
Now, the thing with hellebores have always been that the flowers kind of sag.
Yeah.
And those of you watching on YouTube, I'm making a hand motion that's saying sag. They cascade and they look to the ground, so you really don't see the inside of the flower.
That's right.
But times have changed, my friend.
Oh, yes, they have.
An English hybridizer.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, his name is Rodney. I know that much.
Rodney.
His name is Rodney Davey. And he's an English hybridizer that has introduced a series called the Frost Kiss series that we have at
That's
Bloomers.
Right. I just bought that one.
That's the one.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. And it's pretty tall, too. It's about 2 foot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that where those flowers, you can see the inside of the flower.
That's right.
There's that one that is a pink. It's actually a white, which is edged in pink.
Oh, yeah.
Highly ornamental. Before they were kind of nice because they just came up earlier and they were new. Now you can actually see the inside of the flowers and that they're stunning to see.
They are. Now, would you say they're underused?
Yes. They're unused and they're pricey. I'm going to tell you right now, they're not like they're not like a $10 perennial.
Right.
You're going to spend in the 20s for a good hellebore. And because you want that series.
Right.
The older ones you probably can get cheaper, but you don't want them.
Yeah, you don't want those. But these are incredible because, like you're saying, you can see the flowers.
Right.
You know.
Right. You see the full color.
Right.
You know, you're not looking at the backside of the flower because that's what you did with other ones. It was nice because they came up and they flowered, but these you actually see the flower. You see the anthers and all the pollen on inside of the plant.
Right. Oh, yes.
Beautiful.
Now, how early will they come up? Do you know?
They are like naturally in the garden. Like now they've been protected in a greenhouse and they probably have, I think the greenhouse probably is going to run heat at like 30, 32 degrees, something like that. So they're a little bit ahead. They're probably 2 weeks ahead. So you're seeing them come up out of the ground now. So those of you ready cleaning up outside, be careful that you're not getting rid of your perennials.
That's right.
Okay. All right. I've had many a husband come with their head down saying, I ripped out all of my wife's perennial garden and she's mad at me and I need to replace it. So you know, if somebody else planted that garden, get some help to identify what is a weed and what is a perennial.
That's right. Another feature of this land is the leaves, right? They're evergreen, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
They are evergreen.
Wow, how about that?
They are evergreen. And it's a great plant.
Yeah,
like you said, underused.
Yes.
Underused.
So go out there, even though they're a little pricey, they're beautiful and they're worth all the money.
They are, because they do flower. They're going to flower for about 8 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So,
that's great.
And the only problem, don't put them in full sun.
Right.
The leaves will have a tendency to burn.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but you can put them in full shade.
Oh, there
They'll
you
grow
go.
in full shade.
Nice.
So again, you got something different that'll grow in the shade that will come up and it'll greet you happy in spring.
I'm telling you
nice
what,
plant.
we're happy now, huh?
We sure are.
That's right.
We sure are. Now there's some other plants that are coming out right now, like Aubrietta, also known as rock cress.
Right.
Beautiful flower, kind of a dainty type flower. It's
is that a ground cover?
It's sort of
okay.
A mounding plant, about 6 inches tall, and because the flowers will bloom up above it, so it kind of. Right. I wouldn't use it as a ground cover, but it will cover a section of ground because it'll become a larger and larger clump.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, all right. I mean, and they're again different colors. Mostly you see them in purple.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
And they a lot of people make the mistake of overwatering. They like a dry spot.
Well, dry, huh?
Yep. They'll actually, and they get that name, as an alpine plant because they'll actually grow without soil.
No kidding. Wow.
I don't suggest it, but I do suggest keeping them on the dry side.
Yeah, it's not a.
Don't put them in a wet spot.
That's right.
So,
wow.
And then Columbine is doing any time. I mean,
soon,
that's
huh?
yeah, and that's a great plant. Again, you're not going to see it in the garden yet, but you're going to see it in the garden center.
That's right.
And that they can handle this cold weather that we still, we're just in the first few days of spring, and that that weather that we get can still get cold.
Oh yeah.
On the 21st of March last year,
right?
What event happened?
Snowstorm, right?
Yes, sir. 12 inches of snow.
You believe that?
I do, because I was depressed.
Oh, my gosh.
We don't want that. Oh, my gosh. We've got a foot of snow on top of all the plants we just got in. What are we going to do?
That's right.
We're not going to thaw out till July.
Oh, my.
But it comes and goes.
Yes, it does.
Because snow is the poor man's mulch.
Mulch. That's right.
Anyway. All right. So what other plants? Now, we had a nice visit yesterday over at Centerton Nursery.
Oh, what a place, huh, Len? Ooh.
Yeah,
My goodness.
they are good friends to us, and
yes,
that I mean, what an operation! But the perennials that they had going, incredible. Nepeta, right? They had that early variety,
early bird, huh?
That
That's
early
beautiful.
variety, blue flower.
Yeah.
There were,
Gorgeous.
gosh, a lot of different plants that we saw.
Tons.
What was your favorite?
I like that Nepeta, boy.
Did you?
Yeah, I like it because
It's simple.
yes, it's easy, and then when it's done flowering, you cut it, and it'll come back again. It's just it flowers all the way through.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yep. They had even some
Pollinator too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There you go.
Pollinate. We are going to talk a lot about that.
Yes.
Again, some things that were blooming there. They actually had some salvia that was
yes.
ready.
Yeah.
And again, this stuff is early, but
Early
it's
bloomers.
safe to put outside now.
Okay.
If we're going to get weather in the 20s, I'd suggest maybe covering it. And that's something we'll talk about later when we go into vegetables.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great time to garden.
Oh my, yes.
And it's a great time to start a perennial garden.
It is.
And you start a perennial garden, and don't plant your perennial garden all at once.
Right.
And here's why.
That's right.
We will not have Lenten rows after we sell these out. We're not getting them in again.
No.
It's not like a hosta where we'll always seem to have hosta in throughout the spring and even into the summer.
Yes.
But there are certain varieties of plants, once their appeal has waned, we're not going to keep them around because they need to be that impulse. They need to be in flower, and they need to be something that draws
can
a
see it,
customer
right?
to. So your local garden center will have the plants that are coming up and going to be peaking at that time.
Okay.
So you plant like now. You plant some of these now and spread them throughout where you're going to build that perennial garden.
Right.
Then you come in and, like, for instance, you can't get purple coneflower today.
Yeah.
You can't get black-eyed
Too
Susan
early,
today.
right, Len?
It's too early.
Yeah.
So, but you can get these plants, and just like you can't get black-eyed Susan today,
Yeah.
you can get these. You can't get these later on.
That's right.
So
So get in there now and get these beautiful flowers where you can.
that's right.
Yep.
That's
These only
right.
come now.
That's right.
That's right.
Again, get out to your garden center this weekend. It's going to be beautiful.
Oh,
I mean, it's going to be a great time to
it
get
is.
started.
Let's go.
Yeah,
You ready?
Yeah, get all your questions
Yes.
together. Write them in a notebook. We're ready.
Yes,
we
we're
are.
ready.
We
Get
we
those
are-
tools out too.
That's right. That's right.
There you go.
All right. We're going to be right back after this message. Did crabgrass and other grassy weeds take over your lawn last year? Prevent crabgrass and other grassy weeds from ruining your lawn by applying Bonide's DuraTurf Crabgrass Preventer today. Just apply Bonide's Crabgrass Preventer, available with or without fertilizer, and that will stop the crabgrass and grassy weeds from growing in your lawn for up to 5 months. Do you want your lawn dark green and healthy looking all season long? You need to use Bonide's DuraTurf 4-phase lawn program throughout the year. Our 4-phase program rids your lawn of over 200 broadleaf and grassy weeds, including crabgrass, nutsedge, and dandelions. This program will also take care of surface insects, such as fleas and ticks, while slowly feeding your lawn throughout the year. Bonide offers up to a $35 gift certificate to the store where the Bonide 4-phase lawn program was purchased. You can also buy the 4-phase individually as you need them throughout the year. Bonide products are family made in America. Find a DuraTurf lawn program at these fine stores: Garoppos Stone and Garden Center, Newfield, New Jersey; Feeney's, Feasterville, PA; Bloomer's Home and Garden Center, Sewell, Washington Township, New Jersey.
Dreaming of a gorgeous garden? Give your azaleas, rhododendron, blueberries, and evergreens a powerful boost with the #1 acid-loving plant food, Espoma Organic Hollytone. Hollytone is a perfect blend of natural, long-lasting ingredients that nourish plants for stronger roots, faster growth, and bountiful blooms. Plus, it's easy to use and safe for people, pets, and planet. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you and helpful gardening tips. Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929.
Tired of growing the same old herbs? Do you want to expand your knowledge of herb gardening? Come to Herb Your Enthusiasm Saturday, April 6th at Bloomer's Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Sewell, New Jersey. We'll discuss herbs for cooking, but we'll also expand into herbs for essential oils and herbs for homeopathic medicinal purposes. Bloomers will even demonstrate how to muddle and activate herbs into releasing their aromatic awesomeness to create the best cocktails ever. During Herb Your Enthusiasm, you will plant a container herb garden, and all the starter materials are included with a $45 registration fee. It's going to be a fun night out for couples and friends that you won't forget. Call Bloomers today and register for Herb Your Enthusiasm at 856-589-0200. That's 856-589-0200. If you're looking for more information, just go to www.bloomers.com. So much fun is waiting for you at Bloomers Home and Garden Center, just 20 short minutes from Philadelphia, and we'll see you in the herb garden. Well, you know, a good garden, okay, it doesn't matter if you don't have good soil, you're not going to have a good garden.
Trouble. Yep.
It is trouble. Mm-hmm. You know, it's important that you feed your soil. We talk about that all the time.
That's right.
Julio, give a rundown of what does it mean to feed your soil?
That means you have to put some soil amendments in there.
Okay.
Things like humus.
Yeah.
Not hummus. I'm thinking
Not
about
hummus.
food.
You're hungry again.
I'm hungry again, yeah. We're talking about things like compost, okay?
Right.
Manure, lobster shells, things like that.
That's right.
That were broken down.
For those novices, if you've ever wondered why they put manure in a bag, that's why.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That's right.
And it adds tilth to the soil,
Right.
and where it not only makes it soft and easier to work and easier for the roots to grow, but it also adds micronutrients that aren't available through many regular fertilizers.
Oh, okay.
So, again, mycorrhizing.
Mm-hmm. What is that?
Oh, now come on, Julio. You know what it
I
is.
know.
You're pretending. Mycorrhiza is
It's a fungi.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've ever wondered, okay, how does this plant absorb nutrients from the soil? Like, you know, it doesn't get a knife and a fork and start eating it.
That's right.
It doesn't really come from the root, doesn't even do it. It's that fungus. That is mycorrhiza, and there's ecto and endo, and we don't want to go too crazy about that, but they're two different forms, and one grows on the outside of the root system, and one is on the inside of the root system.
The ecto is the outside, right?
Very good. Mm-hmm. See, you pretended not to know. You smarty pants, you.
Thank you. There you go.
So with that, the mycorrhiza, what it does is that's what breaks down and allows the plant to absorb the nutrients from the soil. Mm-hmm. If you are lacking mycorrhiza, okay, you are lacking that ability for your plant to absorb food. Oh. Now, we talked kind of about, not with mycorrhiza, but we talked about how pH affects it.
Yeah, so that works with this.
Right. So now, if you have your pH right, it's time to get that mycorrhiza right in the soil so that it absorbs into that plant root.
Right. Everything's kicking in.
That's right.
Huh?
That's right.
That's great.
That's right. Our favorite soil amendment.
Oh, yes.
And that we recommend this soil amendment when you're planting your garden.
That's right.
When you're planting anything, any plant.
Yeah.
Perennial, shrub, tree,
trees, everything. Yes.
Now, and it's called bumper crop. Master Nursery bumper crop. Mm-hmm. Okay, and it's a blend of lobster shells, manure compost. Now that manure, it is cow, chicken. Mm-hmm. Okay, believe it or not, the cow manure is different than chick manure. Like chick manure is high in nitrogen.
Right.
Okay, worm castings, kelp, peat moss, and aged bark, and 5 gold rings.
Wow!
No, it's got everything
in it.
Everything but the kitchen sink.
That's right.
And again, is inoculated with endo and ecto mycorrhiza fungi to improve the root functions. Mm-hmm. And that's what you want to use.
Yep.
Don't skimp. Don't skimp.
Don't.
Adding this to your garden, okay, mixing in that. At Bloomers, we sell it in a 2 cubic foot bag. Right. It covers about 10 square foot. You mix that in. You're going to put it like maybe 3-inch layer. Mix that into your soil before you do anything. Okay,
mix it in. Huh?
Mix it in.
Right.
Mix it in. You know, so you want to make sure your pH is right, and you want to mix in your bumper crop. And that's going to make that nice little planting bed that's nice and soft. Carrots will grow big. They'll be beautiful.
Right.
It'll be beautiful. Your tomatoes will never be better.
Oh, boy.
Bumper crop is the answer.
Yes.
Bumper crop is the answer. Give me another one, Julio. What should we consider putting in our garden?
Well, we can put Magic Cow in there.
Magic Cow.
Yes.
Magic Cow is made by who?
By Bonide.
No,
Oh, no, it's
Jonathan
Jonathan
Green.
That's right.
Aha.
That's right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you did, didn't
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
There you go. But this is
You should hear what Julio says when we're off the air. He's always tricking me.
There you go.
Jonathan Green Magic Cow.
Yes,
What does it do?
It's a soil food, and what it does, it adjusts your pH in your soil.
Right.
And so again, you were talking about this a little earlier on about how it, at pH level makes the nutrients available to the root systems.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And
It unlocks it.
And when you look at the Magic Cow bag, and if anybody who is looking on YouTube, we have a little bag here. Most everybody's heard about it for the lawn.
Oh, yeah.
But this is for the garden. Magnesium, iron, calcium. Right. Magic Cow, right? Everybody going back to chemistry class? Magic Cow.
It's right there.
Magnesium, iron, calcium. The calcium is going to prevent blossom end rot in your tomatoes.
There you go.
You know, anybody who's had tomatoes and grows tomatoes has at one time dealt with blossom end rot. That's where that tomato gets that like ugly scab on it, and it's like kind of gross, and you can't figure out, you know, how come it looks like it's got a scab. Is it a bug or it's not? It's a calcium deficiency.
How about that?
Nothing related to disease. It's not a disease.
Yeah.
It's not an insect. It's a calcium deficiency.
Okay.
And Magic Cow will help that. Take care of it. The calcium that's in there.
There you go.
All right. And again, great. It is such a good product. You know, it also, again, stimulates the microbes, which in this case are going to further stimulate the mycorrhiza.
Right.
Okay. It's feeding the soil, soil. Before you grow your plants and feed your plants, you have to feed that soil and recondition that soil, because some people have had their same garden, the same spot for years.
Yeah, they don't touch it.
And then they go back and the soil's depleted.
Yeah.
It's given its all last year for growing that vegetable garden that you had. It's time now to give back, get that thing back and filled with nutrients so it's ready to do it all over again.
Right. Stimulate that soil. Right, Len?
That's exactly right.
There you go.
That's exactly right. Now, we have another product that we carry.
Yes, we do.
Yeah? What is that
Lobster compost. Oh, wow. Sounds good, doesn't it?
It does. You know, I'm thinking about a nice lobster tail,
That's
lots
right.
of butter. You know,
There you go. That's why you brought that in.
That's right. That's right. It doesn't taste that way in the bag.
No, it doesn't.
Anyway, it's a great additive. Again, it's going to give you back calcium.
Right.
There's a little bit of peat humus in there.
Right.
And it's going to work within the soil, creating a great condition for your garden beds or even in your landscape beds.
Oh, yes.
It softens that soil and makes it so that you have good drainage and that you don't have issues. If you have issues with clay,
Right.
again, bumper crop and the lobster compost, it's going to help that, because soils are made up of three things. It's sand, clay, and organic matter. And when you're out of proportion with those, and especially when you have too much clay and you don't have enough organic matter, that you're going to have drainage issues.
Right.
Add the organic matter, it will take those particles, spread them apart of that clay, and it will make that a softer bed to grow in.
Ooh, that's beautiful. Now can you put both of these on, like bumper crop and also the lobster compost? Would you mix
can.
Up a little bit?
You know, listen, you should probably do one or the other.
Okay.
You can do both. There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
Because, again, if you're doing a garden, you're only getting 10 square foot out of a bag. So do them both. But,
Yeah.
So if you're doing, so if you have lobster compost and bumper crop, you can mix it up.
Yeah.
And use that Magic Cow.
Yes.
Lots of things. Turn it over about 6 to 12 inches deep, and you'll have an amazing soil for
There
your
you
garden.
go. That's beautiful.
That's it. That's it.
Good start.
That's right. All right. So get digging out there.
Yes. Dig.
All right. After this next commercial break, we're going to talk about mulch.
Wow.
Did crabgrass and other grassy weeds take over your lawn last year? Prevent crabgrass and other grassy weeds from ruining your lawn by applying Bonide's DuraTurf Crabgrass Preventer today. Just apply Bonide's Crabgrass Preventer, available with or without fertilizer, and that will stop the crabgrass and grassy weeds from growing in your lawn for up to 5 months. Do you want your lawn dark green and healthy looking all season long? You need to use Bonide's DuraTurf 4-phase lawn program throughout the year. Our 4-phase program rids your lawn of over 200 broadleaf and grassy weeds, including crabgrass, nutsedge, and dandelions. This program will also take care of surface insects, such as fleas and ticks, while slowly feeding your lawn throughout the year. Bonide offers up to a $35 gift certificate to the store where the Bonide 4-phase lawn program was purchased. You can also buy the 4-phase individually as you need them throughout the year. Bonide products are family made in America. Find a DuraTurf lawn program at these fine stores: Garoppos Stone and Garden Center, Newfield, New Jersey; Feeney's, Feasterville, PA; Bloomer's Home and Garden Center, Sewell, Washington Township, New Jersey.
Dreaming of a gorgeous garden? Give your azaleas, rhododendron, blueberries, and evergreens a powerful boost with their #1 acid-loving plant food, Espoma Organic Hollytone. Hollytone is a perfect blend of natural, long-lasting ingredients that nourish plants for stronger roots, faster growth, and bountiful blooms. Plus, it's easy to use and safe for people, pets, and planet. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you and helpful gardening tips. Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929.
Tired of growing the same old herbs? Do you want to expand your knowledge of herb gardening? Come to Herb Your Enthusiasm Saturday, April 6th at Bloomer's Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Sewell, New Jersey. We'll discuss herbs for cooking, but we'll also expand into herbs for essential oils and herbs for homeopathic medicinal purposes. Bloomers will even demonstrate how to muddle and activate herbs into releasing their aromatic awesomeness to create the best cocktails ever. During Herb Your Enthusiasm, you will plant a container herb garden, and all the starter materials are included with a $45 registration fee. It's going to be a fun night out for couples and friends that you won't forget. Call Bloomers today and register for Herb Your Enthusiasm at 856-589-0200. That's 856-589-0200. If you're looking for more information, just go to www.bloomers.com. So much fun is waiting for you at Bloomer's Home and Garden Center, just 20 short minutes from Philadelphia, and we'll see you in the herb garden.
Well, so you're thinking about ordering mulch, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to think about this.
That's right.
More than just like, hello, can I have 2 yards of black dyed mulch?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's talk about dyed mulch.
Dyed mulch.
Dyed mulch is a vegetable dye. It's safe. Okay, it's ground up wood. Mm-hmm. Okay, now let me explain. I don't mind dyed mulch.
Okay.
But it has in it 20%, up to 20% demolition wood.
Wow.
So that's 2x4s, pallets,
okay.
You know,
Right.
Who knows what's
What else?
on that demolition wood. And I don't know. For my plant's sake, I like to have a natural.
Natural.
You know, all like cedar mulch, for instance.
Right.
Cedar mulch is a great product. Breaks down slow. Okay.
Right.
And it has a great red color, and all mulch is going to eventually turn a little gray.
Right.
It just does.
It does.
It's a sun.
Mm-hmm.
But
Smells good too.
and it smells good. It also
like
is a byproduct
Mm-hmm.
where, you know, they're taking cedar
Right.
trees, and when they scrape all the bark off to make, whether it's cedar posts or cedar, you know, 2x4s or what have you,
Right.
it's a byproduct. The next one would be like pine bark.
Pine.
Yeah, pine bark used to be big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. How come?
not anymore.
Is that
I don't know what I think the dyed mulches, and again, it is a recycled. Dyed mulches are a recycled product, so they're
Right.
taking yard waste and they're taking things like that, but it allows for that 20% demolition wood, so it's
right?
you know, it's good.
It's not bad. Huh?
No, but it's
Not natural.
Wood. It's not. It's,
Right.
obviously we
right?
sell it,
Yeah.
and I guess the clown color red that you see in Wawa parking lots. I mean, I don't know.
West Coast.
The black is okay.
Right.
Black's
black's
okay.
okay.
But again, it's 20% demolition wood. And it is recycled. It is recycled. Kind of bothers me that sometimes we take some of our brush to the recycler and we buy it back as dyed mulch.
That's right.
But in any case, so it is okay.
Yeah.
All right. Natural bark is the best. One thing that I'm going to try this year, and I think I'm going to try it in my own yard,
Okay.
is that it's bundled bales of pine needles.
No kidding.
Right. So down south, they'll collect the pine needles from these pine trees, bundle it up into like a bale of straw.
Right.
It's not big. It's maybe half that size. And you spread that out, and it doesn't compact the way that other mulches do
No kidding.
when it begins to rot.
Does it change your pH level at all?
Probably a little bit, but acid-loving plants, the majority of them.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I do it around perennials or annuals, but they do down south.
They do? Wow.
Yeah,
How
it's
about
used
that?
down south. That's where it's used.
Oh,
I don't know.
try it out.
So I'm going to try it out.
Okay.
And again, I'm a northern guy. I don't know. There's one thing that I want to say about rotting mulch. When your mulch begins to decay and you look at your plants, we talked about mycorrhiza, right? You need mycorrhiza around that root zone
Right.
in order to change the elements into a form that the plants can absorb.
Okay.
If you have mulch and you are constantly trying to feed your plants and they're always looking yellow, always looking yellow,
Right.
what's happening is that rotting mulch is pulling the mycorrhiza to the top, and it's rotting the mulch. Okay, it's rotting the mulch, and it's not around the root zone of the plants. So sometimes you need to get in there, loosen that up, and maybe incorporate some of that into the soil before you just add another layer of mulch. Loosen the mulch that you have. Don't put another layer in, because also then you may have some drought issues where it compacts and it doesn't perk down to the plant zone, to the root zone.
Wow, it's good to know.
Yeah, so simple primer on mulch.
Keep an eye on it. Huh?
Hey, dyed mulch is okay.
Yep. It's okay.
I like pure bark mulches
bark.
are better.
Yeah.
Like we've got a beautiful triple shredded hardwood.
Oh, hardwood. I love it.
And those of you in Camden over at the Mafco plant, I really, really miss right dress licorice
Yes,
root.
we do, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
You still
sorry
get
to
people
say
asking
that
for it.
it just doesn't. It's not available anymore.
Yeah.
Not available anymore. But it's the way the times go.
Yes, it is.
All right, coming up, we have a caller.
Oh, wow.
All right,
There we go.
stay tuned. We're going to talk about early weeds.
Yeah, wow.
Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix with EcoPeat is the perfect ready-to-use potting mix for all your succulents. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix is a blend of sphagnum peat moss, perlite, and EcoPeat. EcoPeat is a natural wood fiber from peat bogs. When added to Fertilome peat moss, it produces a superior professional substrate with an exceptional ratio of air porosity and water holding capacity. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix will ensure maximum drainage with ideal water retention. It's simply the best succulent mix on the market. Ask for Fertilome by name at your local garden center. Available at Daniel's Garden Center, Sumneytown Pike, Harleysville, Pennsylvania. Gasper's Home and Garden, 316 Tanyard Road, Richboro, PA. Spring has sprung and it's time to visit Bloomer's Home and Garden Center. Bring us a soil sample and we'll test your soil's pH free. Heck, bring us a water sample from your pond too and we'll test that for ammonia and other critical levels. Did you know that Bloomer's has a pond department? We have all of the water treatments, fish, and plants to keep your pond looking glorious year-round. Are you looking for that 4-step lawn program? Bloomers carries Scott's, Jonathan Green, Bonide, and Espoma's Organic Step program. Need to seed? Bloomers has its own blend of seed called Township Turf. It's just the right balance of rye, fescue, and bluegrass to give you a spectacular lawn. It's also perfect for repairing bare spots and matches extraordinarily well to sodded lawns. Don't forget the garden. Bloomers carries bumper crop soil amendment and all the fertilizers a garden could need. both organic and inorganic. The best vegetables start as seedlings from Bloomers. Come visit those who know the friendly folks at Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is located in Washington Township in Gloucester County, New Jersey, just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. For directions and information, visit www.bloomers.com. That's www.bloomers.com. And we'll see you in the garden. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call us on the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. And if we use your question on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Well, we're back. We had a caller called into the hotline. And it seemed our caller Gavin seems a little overwhelmed by some of the weeds that he sees. He sees. So take a listen.
I'm in Pittman right now. I'm Pittman, New Jersey, and I'm looking at my backyard, and I have a bunch of blue, flowery weeds popping up already, and spring's not even here yet. So I'm very confused.
He's confused.
Oh my goodness.
He sounded confused, didn't he? You know, those blue. It's Veronica. Speedwell.
Oh, okay.
It's also a perennial.
Yes.
But that is the weed version that you get in your lawn. And now, again, nobody's cut their grass yet. No. So all of a sudden they're seeing these weeds that are growing faster. Like we were talking about how like the wild onions are growing, like alfalfa.
That's
like
right.
Those of you old enough know what alfalfa is from, our gang. Camedy always had his hair sticking up.
That's right.
That's what those wild onions look like in your lawn because you haven't cut the grass yet. And all of a sudden they're growing faster than everything else.
Whew.
Yeah. Also chickweed.
Chickweed, huh?
You know what chickweed is, Julio? That white flower that you see everywhere?
Yes.
Kind of pretty, but
it's
not when it's taking over your lawn.
That's right.
You want to see that golf course green.
Oh, yes.
So what you need to do is you need to use Bonide.
There you go.
That's right. Bonide, chickweed and clover killer.
Yes, it is.
That will control both of the weeds that Gavin said that he saw in Pittman, New Jersey.
There you go.
That's your hometown, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. What's
go,
up?
Gavin.
What's going on over there? You
know.
got weeds going out of control.
A lot of weeds over there, yes, sir.
But, the chickweed and clover, that you can use that. There's one thing about weed control this time of the year.
What's that?
Last week, we were talking about crabgrass control for the lawn. Right. You have to water it in, right? You have to water it in, and that activates it, and it forms a barrier.
Sure.
The chickweed and clover control that we're talking about works differently. You have to make sure that it sits on top of the plant and covers the plant and coats the plant, the weed, and in this instance it would be that Veronica.
Right.
And then it works through the leaves and kills it that way.
Right. These are spray-ons, right?
Correct. They are liquid sprays.
Okay.
Now, we're in a pretty good weather pattern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It can be, sometimes weed controls, if it's too cold, will not work that well.
Okay. How about
Bonide has a great one that will work at 40 degrees.
That's great.
Okay. Weed Beater Ultra.
There you go.
Okay. If we in cold weather, you want to use Weed Beater Ultra.
Right.
It is. We often say at the store, right? It's like, here you go. I know you're worried about seeing your dandelions that are still growing, and you got to get your crabgrass control in here. Put your crabgrass control down and water it in with Weed Beater Ultra. That'll control those overwintering weeds. And we've had such a mild winter
that's great.
that so many of those weeds that have normally gone dormant, they're still alive.
Yeah.
They're still alive.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, so you want to use, again, that's going to be chickweed and clover to control both that chickweed, obviously, and you're going to use that for that Veronica that Gavin saw, that blue flower. It's actually kind of pretty, to be honest with you.
You like that?
Yeah, well, some of the weeds are beautiful.
Oh,
Queen
they are.
Anne's lace is one of the prettiest weeds
right.
I've ever seen, but
That's right.
it's a weed somehow.
Oh,
If I, again, think about it. If I could give you a bright, pretty, happy, cheery yellow flower, and it has a little, plume on the top of it, and you can get kids to blow them around. Well, it helps us to sell, broadleaf weed control, but I'm describing a dandelion. So a lot of perennials have started out as weeds. So. But again, you want to coat that plant. You don't want to have if it's going to rain, pick another day. It has to dry on the leaf surface in order for it to work.
Right.
Okay, it's not like the crabgrass control. Crabgrass controls you want to water in. With a broadleaf weed control, what you want to do is you want to make sure that it dries on top of the plant.
Okay.
All right. Think we got that straight? Yeah. Gavin, you got it?
You got it, Gavin. Yes.
All right. Thank you for calling. Anybody out there has questions, call us. That's what that hotline's for.
That's right.
That's what it's for. 609-685-1880.
Yep. And don't be shy.
That's right. We've got another question about starting vegetables in the garden right after this. Tired of growing the same old herbs? Do you want to expand your knowledge of herb gardening? Come to Herb Your Enthusiasm Saturday, April 6th at Bloomer's Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Sewell, New Jersey. We'll discuss herbs for cooking, but we'll also expand into herbs for essential oils and herbs for homeopathic medicinal purposes. Bloomers will even demonstrate how to muddle and activate herbs into releasing their aromatic awesomeness to create the best cocktails ever. During Herb Your Enthusiasm, you will plant a container herb garden, and all the starter materials are included with a $45 registration fee. It's going to be a fun night out for couples and friends that you won't forget. Call Bloomers today and register for Herb Your Enthusiasm at 856-589-0200. That's 856-589-0200. If you're looking for more information, just go to www.bloomers.com. So much fun is waiting for you at Bloomer's Home and Garden Center, just 20 short minutes from Philadelphia, and we'll see you in the herb garden.
Do you want a picture-perfect lawn this year? It all starts with using the best grass seed available. Bonide makes that happen with DuraTurf grass seed. Bonide is using the best varieties of grass seed available today for their DuraTurf grass seed blends. When you start using Bonide's high traffic and heat and drought grass seed blend, you will have a deep-rooting lawn that requires less water. Therefore, it will save you money in water bills and will also resist the harsh summer heat and sun. Bonide's DuraTurf grass seed mixes are disease and insect resistant and will grow in poor soil. You get all these benefits along with having a natural, durable, dark green lawn. When planting grass seed, always use Bonide's lawn seed starter fertilizer to get your grass off to a healthy start to ensure that picture-perfect lawn. Bonide products are family-made in America. Bonide's DuraTurf grass seed products are available at these fine stores.
Feeney's, Feasterville, PA. Dublin Agway, Dublin, PA. Magnolia Gardens, Magnolia, New Jersey. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call us on the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. And if we use your question on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Hi, we set up a small greenhouse in my backyard, and I'd like to start using it soon. Not sure what I can start growing and when. I'm interested in vegetables especially, not so much flowers, and wondering what vegetable plants would bring me success, what is easy to grow, and when can I start doing that. Thank you so much.
There you go. Yeah, all right, so again, it's time.
Yes.
She can get away with starting a lot of the softer vegetables where 2 weeks ago she couldn't.
Yeah.
So if she goes and starts some tomatoes and some peppers, they're going to germinate a little bit slower because she doesn't have the true heat.
Oh, okay.
You know, so she's not going to. But she could run an extension cord and use a seed mat, and where that keeps the temperature of the root zone nice and warm so that things will germinate. And they'll germinate quickly.
Wow! So she has a little bit of an edge.
Yeah.
To the greenhouse.
Yep, and the
sun.
Right, because there's a difference between freeze and frost.
Okay. What is that? What is that?
All right. Well, freeze 32 degrees or under.
Okay.
Okay. Now a frost will happen. It can even happen if it's not freezing. And what happens is ice crystals form on the suspended leaves of the plants.
Okay.
And usually there's moisture involved. And obviously where the plant is. If it's windy, normally we won't have a frost.
Oh, okay.
Because that leaf surface is dried out.
Okay.
And you're not going to have it's not like it happens at midnight.
Right.
Frost usually happens in the wee hours of the morning, sometime between, say, 4 a.m. and 7 a.m., before the sun is up.
Okay.
And that you need to protect your plants if you're trying to beat the season. Like, for instance, we want to get those peppers in the ground, or you want to get those tomatoes in the ground early. Right. You put them out. You need to protect them from a frost. So keep your eye, anything under 40 degrees, you're going to have to protect it, and you're going to have to cover it with a frost blanket.
Okay.
Or newspaper, a sheet.
Okay.
Never plastic.
Never plastic. There you go.
Plastic will transfer the cold directly to the leaf.
Oh, boy.
It will not protect it. Right. If you have a bubble formed around it and it's not touching the plant, I guess you'd be okay, because you'd get the ground heat, and that will keep it warmer. But use something that's either cloth, like for instance, a frost blanket is. It's almost the material of, say, a weed barrier.
Right.
Kind of that same thing, but lighter, much lighter.
Okay.
So that'd be something. There's also the rose collars are another type of frost protection, but because she has a greenhouse, she doesn't have to mess with any of that.
That's great.
So she needs to just keep an eye on the freeze.
Okay.
So she's going to be okay.
Oh,
she could get that stuff started, and if she starts it with a little bit of a seed mat, those seeds will germinate. And some of the things that are easy to grow now, gosh, it may be a little too early, but beans, because beans will germinate like grass. I mean, it's 7 days. They're popping up, and they're starting to sprout. Because a frost-free date is what day?
May 15th.
Good man. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We had a frost at May 17th.
Wow.
So only time I've ever seen it happen. It was about 5-6 years ago.
Wow. Can happen.
But it can happen. Mm-hmm. It can happen. Okay. It can happen. But again, it's frost and freeze. She has a greenhouse.
Okay.
So it's protected.
Right.
It's protected.
How about circulation of air, Len? Do you think that's going to be okay for her?
Yeah. Well, within her environment, she's good because she has a greenhouse. So it's basically another environment, and that she doesn't have an issue. Circulation is good.
Right.
But because she's going to be going in there, it's not that it's not going to be. That's going to be good enough.
Right.
As it gets warmer, that may be an issue.
Right.
That's why you want to vent it later on.
Right.
If it's a beautiful sunny day and it's really nice outside, that greenhouse may be a little too hot.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you might want to get the vents open. You want to try to keep it temperate, not too hot. That's like the Three Bears. It's not too hot, not too cold. The ideal thing is going to be a temperature in the 60s. Right. That would be great.
Oh yeah.
And easy things to grow. Tomatoes are easy. Peppers are easy. Right. There are some, even cabbage and lettuces are easy to get sprouted. There's some of those things that are really tiny seeds. Right.
Tough.
Yeah, that can be hard. Just you get out your pliers and manipulate them with your pliers, your tweezers.
So what's the biggest advantage for her she can do pretty much everything earlier now?
She can get a jump on the season,
right?
And it's more that if she can, she wants to do a lot of a single variety. Like say she buys a packet of bell pepper seeds. Right. She may have 50, 60 plants. Right. I mean, that may be too many for one garden, but if she likes stuffed peppers and she likes to can things, like tomatoes, if she likes to can tomatoes and
that'd be great, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can go to town. Yeah. And otherwise, buy the plants.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, like right now we have lettuce and broccoli and cabbage and kale and all of the cold crops that are able to be planted right now. The soft, we don't want to encourage people to plant soft things early. Mm-hmm. But again, my rule of thumb, and This is only my rule of thumb,
Right.
is that you look at when the last full moon is before May 15th.
Right.
And generally, that is our last frost. Now, I will not say that verbatim, but that is what I use to judge at Bloomers to say, all right, are we bringing in the soft material or not?
Okay.
So keep your eyes to the sky. Keep your eyes to the sky. And it's because there's radiant cooling. If it's a clear night and if it's a still night, at that full moon, we're getting a frost.
Right.
We're getting a frost.
How about that?
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I tell you what, Len, gardening is a science, isn't it?
It
Wow,
is.
Look at that. You know, you talked about that the other day.
It is.
Yes.
It absolutely is a
Wonderful.
science, and it's and also an art form.
Yes, it is.
So rarely do you get the two to marry together, but
Wow.
absolutely, gardening, landscaping,
Wow.
all the things we talked about today, perennial gardens.
Look at
They're-
that. Yeah. Well, isn't that wonderful?
That it is.
Yeah, we're talking about weddings, right?
Yeah.
Marriage.
Hey, well, we're in spring, so
right. We
it's
love
nothing
it.
like a spring wedding.
Oh, yes. Wonderful.
Well, we've got a break coming up, and that we're going to talk about today's show right after this. The Bird Sanctuary at Bloomers Home and Garden Center is dedicated to the care and feeding of wild birds. We carry a flock of feeders like the Brome Squirrel-Proof Feeder, which has a lifetime guarantee. Brome makes fantastic feeders for frustrating squirrels and feeding songbirds. Bloomers Bird Sanctuary has a vast selection of wild bird seed, suet, seed cakes, and mealworms. We carry Lyric, Coles, C&S, Pine Tree Farms, and our own line called Bloomers Blend. Bloomers Blend Songbird Magnet contains premium black oil sunflower, peanut splits, millet, safflower, and tree nuts. It's sure to attract the most colorful songbirds to your yard. Bloomers Home and Garden Center is located in Washington Township in Gloucester County, New Jersey. Visit us online at www.bloomers.com. When you come in, ask for Shirley Spurbeck, Bloomers Wild Bird Specialist. Mention you heard it on Bloomers in the Garden Radio, and we'll give you $10 off a 20-pound bag of Bloomers Blend Songbird Magnet Mix. Spring has sprung, and it's time to visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bring us a soil sample, and we'll test your soil's pH free. Heck, bring us a water sample from your pond, too, and we'll test that for ammonia and other critical levels. Did you know that Bloomers has a pond department? We have all of the water treatments, fish, and plants to keep your pond looking glorious year-round. Are you looking for that 4-step lawn program? Bloomers carries Scott's, Jonathan Green, Bonide, and Espoma's Organic Step program. Need to seed? Bloomers has its own blend of seed called Township Turf. It's just the right balance of rye, fescue, and bluegrass to give you a spectacular lawn. It's also perfect for repairing bare spots and matches extraordinarily well to sodded lawns. Don't forget the garden. Bloomers carries bumper crop soil amendment and all the fertilizers a garden could need, both organic and inorganic. The best vegetables start as seedlings from Bloomers. Come visit those who know the friendly folks at Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is located in Washington Township in Gloucester County, New Jersey, just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. For directions and information, visit www.bloomers.com. That's www.bloomers.com. And we'll see you in the garden. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call us on the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. And if we use your question on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. 1880, and we'll see you in the garden.
See me and Julio down by the schoolyard.
Well, tell you what, we learned a lot.
Oh, my goodness.
Science class with ecto and endo mycorrhiza.
Mycorrhiza. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Getting the soil correct before you plant anything is key. We talk about everything from doing whether you're planting or like a shrub or a rose or anything, if that soil's not right, your plant's not going to grow well. And it's your one chance to get it. Like your garden, you get one shot at making that soil right in the garden. right?
That's right.
And that's it. That's it.
Right.
So pH
is critical. Right?
pH critical, and then add in that organic matter.
Right.
Bumper crop. Bumper crop is the way to go.
That's
Bumper
right.
crop is the way to go. And again, Gavin,
Oh, my
hey,
goodness.
get those weeds taken care of.
That's right.
You know, you need to spray those weeds
it in.
and make sure that you don't have it washed off by rain, because it's starting to be the rainy season.
Yes, it is.
You know, April showers. We're not quite at April yet, but
Get there.
it's happening.
Yes, it is.
So was the groundhog right?
Oh, I don't know. Did
Yeah.
you hear it?
Phil said that we were supposed to have an early spring. I don't think we're quite had an early spring,
No,
but
not yet.
But we're not having a late winter so
That's right.
far.
Yeah, no snow, huh?
No.
Thank you.
Shh, don't
What?
say,
Don't say
don't
it.
even say the S word.
That's right.
Don't even say the S word. Anyway. But I want to thank you. Next week we're going to be talking about roses. We're going to talk about water garden. So make sure that you join us here in the garden.
Yes. So we'll see you in the garden.
See you in the garden. Bloomers in the Garden is an hour-long gardening radio program that airs to over 6 million residents throughout the Delaware Valley. From Allentown to Wilmington, from the Main Line to the Jersey Shore, Bloomers in the Garden can be heard twice each Saturday morning, first at 8 a.m. on 860 WWDB and again at 9 on 610 a.m. ESPN Radio. Each episode of Bloomers in the Garden will be broadcast on Bloomers' Facebook page and available as a podcast on bloomersinthegarden.com. Bloomers in the Garden is adding sponsors. Share your message to our large, diverse group of listeners. Commercials and segment sponsorships are available at incredibly affordable prices. Let Bloomers in the Garden get your message out to one of the largest and most diverse populations in the country. If you're interested in joining us in the garden, please visit bloomersinthegarden.com or email len@bloomers.com.